So let's go into the event sheet, add another group, boss bug. I'm going to select it and press B to add a few, add a few blank events, like so. And the first thing we want to do is pin the sprites we've created to the boss sprite. So on boss bug, on created, so as soon as it's appeared in the level, we want to, with the boss pods, pin to object boss bug, and the same for the boss turrets. So go down to pin to object boss, done. And we're going to use, as I said before, the animations on the pod to kind of trigger the sort of firing mechanism. So initially we want to make sure that the animation is set to the first animation, open, and that we want to stop it. And the way I kind of want to spawn it, because there's not going to be a spawner, it's just because it's a one-off object. The idea is that as the scroll moves towards the position of the boss, then I'm going to set the scroll speed to 0, so the scroll stops, and then the boss is going to slowly come forwards into the screen. So in order to do that, we need to set up some a bullet movement behavior, and because we've pinned these objects to this sprite, that they'll move along with it. So let's compare the boss bug's Y position is equal or greater than the scroll dot Y minus 538. So this will give an extra 538 pixels. And then what we want to do is set the scroll speed 0. And also on created, I'm gonna, where's the boss bullet is going to be disabled, and then when the scroll is in the right place, then the bullet behavior will be enabled. And I'm going to set the initial speed on the bug to 40. So let's test that. Oh, I've got it set too far forwards. So let's take it. So if I want to move this, let's view, let's just snap to grid. Let's turn that off, because otherwise all these things will move out of position. I need to hold down shift and select the whole lot. And then, oh, and that little turret there, don't forget that. And just let's stick it up. Let's stick it up here. Yeah, so it scrolls forwards, stops, and then the big bug, comes in. And what I want to make it do then is when it reaches another point on the y-axis, it stops completely. I'm just going to reposition this a bit so it's central. Oops. Is that central? Yeah, that's better. So a bit anal like that. Let's go back into the event sheet. Let's copy and paste this. Let's get rid of those actions. And this time we're going to set the scroll to Y minus 150. So when it's 150 pixels away from the scroll, I'm going to set the bullet, where has it gone? Bossbug. Set the acceleration on the bullet motion to minus 40, so that'll gradually slow down and stop. Next, we need to set up some variables on the Bossbug before we can continue. So, instance variables. We're going to add a number variable. I'm going to call this mode. We're going to use this similar to the way we used it in the bug enemy 2 to change between different behaviors. And that's initially set to nothing. We're also going to add a Boolean variable here, which is going to be can shoot. And then we're going to set things up similar to things we've done already, which is, cooldown and fire rate. And we're going to create another variable called missile ammo. And one more thing, HP. Now the HP for the boss is going to be based on the boss pods, so its initial value is 3 because there's 3 of them, but the boss pods themselves will have their own hit points, so they'll be destroyed, and then when you've destroyed all of them, then you destroy the boss. So we need to put some values in here as well. And I'm just going to set the missile ammo to 3 and the fire rate to 1.7 initially. And then that's set up. We're going to use this Y scroll position event to trigger a change in mode. So we can't just put like a mode change in here, because what happens is with this condition, once it's met, it's always true, and what we need to create is a kind of switch that only happens once. So I'm going to add another condition to this, which is that the mode is equal to 0, which it is when it starts. And as soon as it reaches that point, we're going to change the mode to 1. And this will make this statement or this event no longer true. And then when the Bossbug compare instance variable mode is equal to 1, we're going to set the animation again. Although we've set it here, there's a reason why later on we need to set it here as well. Because it's going to, once we do all these modes, it's going to go round in a loop from this mode point here. So we need to make sure that we set the boss pod animation is open from the beginning. And this time we're going to start the animation from the current frame. So it'll get to this point, it'll slow down, and then the pod will open, and then we're going to tell it that it can shoot. And the way we're going to do this is on the Bossbug, we're going to add another behavior, which is the timer, and the timer will start, and it'll happen once, and it'll be called shoot. You might need to adjust the length of that depending on how long we want it to stay open for, then start shooting. But we'll just leave it as 1 second for now. And then we need to change the mode again. So set mode to 2. If we don't do this, then this event will always be true and the timer won't start shooting. So on the timer, shoot. So when that goes off, then we want to set the Boolean value of can shoot to true. And because we're going to use this system where the boss pod is vulnerable when it's open, we need to go to the boss pod, and the collisions we're going to initially disable, and then at this point we're going to where is it, miscellaneous, enable collisions. So basically there'll be no collision mask on that. Let's just check the collision masks again. I have set them right, haven't I? Yeah, it needs to be a different sort of shape actually. Let's just tweak this a bit. Let's add guess polygon shape. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. And then we need to apply to all animations. Let's just check we've got that right set up. Perfect. Okay, so it'll start off with that collision poly switched off, and then the shoot timer will go off, enabling the boss pods to shoot and enabling their collision polys. So let's just check that's working so far, and hopefully the boss pods will open, and then we can start doing the missiles coming out.